So this past year, when you did your taxes, you might have owed some money. And that stinks. And that made you look at your pay stub and you're wondering, why is there no federal income tax coming out of my pay? That can't be right, can it? Well, there's probably a good reason for it. It's always possible that somebody made a clerical mistake somewhere, and you should be looking at your pay stubs anyway to make sure that there's tax coming out. But one of the things you want to ask too is, what's on my W-4? A few years ago, the IRS completely revamped the W-4 from the old married in two or single in one or married in four or whatever to a different, more complicated system to account for things like multiple jobs for the family or side gigs or things like that. And as well also accounted for the child tax credit. So if you put in that you had 3 children under the age of 17, you're going to get a $6,000 credit on your withholding, which means that the first $120 every week that would have been withheld from your check now isn't. And that may have applied just fine 3 years ago when you filled out the new W-4. But now your kids are older and they don't qualify. Maybe 2 of them don't qualify and only 1 does. Well, that's $4,000 in credit that you're taking when we calculate the withholdings that you don't get when you fill out your tax return, which is why you don't have anything withheld. So my advice is, the first thing you want to do is look at your pay stub, see if there's any federal withholding or state and local withholding if it's applicable to you. The next thing you want to do if there's not any federal withholding is submit a new W-4. You can find it on Google, just IRS W-4, and it's going to come right up. And fill it out, and in step 3, where it talks about the dependents, make sure you have that right, because that takes money right out of your withholding. It's a credit, so it's $1 for $1. So be really careful with that. The other thing I would do, along with all these things, is consult with your tax advisor. They'll be able to put you in the right place with your W-4 to make sure that you don't have a bad surprise again next year. Our mission is Superior Trucking Payroll Services to help trucking families. And that's the owners, and it's the office people, and it's the drivers and their families. We want to do what we can to make their lives better.